the one thing when Coach Day says, give me what you want to do? What
Mm-hmm.
is that?
I don't know if I could put a finger on it, to be honest. I think just being a competitor, I think, is extremely important. And I think, you look at last year, we played some teams that gave us different looks, which require you to run different things. And then, you're going to have a game like Northwestern where you can't really throw the ball that much. And, you have to compete in other ways, whether it's running the ball like CJ did last year. So I don't know if I could really put a finger on it, but I would just say just competing would be the biggest thing.
Because Ohio State fans have seen you in very limited action. The Akron game,
Mm-hmm.
and then in games last year where you didn't really
Mm-hmm.
didn't let you turn you loose, put it mildly.
Yeah.
For Ohio State fans, say, okay, what's this guy like? What's he do?
Mm-hmm.
What's he comfortable doing? I mean, what would you say to that?
I guess time will tell, to be honest. I could sit up here and say, what I want to do and what I want to accomplish, but at the end of the day, I think the film will speak for itself when that time comes.
Kyle, I don't mean to belabor the point, but how would you evaluate that part of the mobility part of your game?
Mm-hmm.
How comfortable are you with it? How good do you think you can handle that if you have to?
Yeah, I think once I got to college, I think you realize that, in order to play at this level, you have to be a good athlete. And so that's one of the things with Coach Mick and his staff I've been focusing on, just speed and agility. And it's not necessarily, how fast is your 40 time. I think a lot of it is, how quickly can you, take a hard reset and get back on platform, or can you evade the rush and get outside the pocket and extend the play. So just working in ways like that, I think, have been a pivotal point of my training, and I think Coach Mick and the staff have done a great job of that.
I know that you don't pay any attention to this, but outside, it's like the perception is Devin can do all those things,
Mm-hmm.
and then you are the pocket passer.
Mm-hmm.
If you've paid any attention to that, does that annoy you? Do you think that you don't get enough credit for what you could do athletically?
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think you saw it with CJ. I mean, they'll say anything, and I think CJ did a good job of just letting it roll off his back. So if that's one thing I'll take from CJ, just they can say whatever. It is what it is.
You brought up the Georgia game, and
Mm-hmm.
you said you've watched that game multiple
Yeah.
times at this point, and it felt like that aspect, the off-platform stuff, the run
Yeah.
element, was maybe more emphasized in that game than any other game CJ played here.
Yeah.
Has that become more emphasized in the room just because of how that game played out, or is that game why you felt like that needed to be a bigger part of what you were doing?
I think going into that game, we knew that that's what type of game it was going to be. They had a great D-line. So when the pocket was clean, great, just do what we do. But, I think there were multiple plays where, things weren't perfect, and he scrambled out and made, I think he had 2 touchdowns on the run, if I'm not mistaken, and then had a few big runs. So I think it really is the flow of the game. But going into that week, I think we had a pretty good idea that he was going to have to do some stuff like that, which he did, obviously. But I think, like you said, that I don't know if we would say it's a point of emphasis now, but definitely something after watching that game, like that's what it's going to take to beat those type of teams.
A big part of being quarterback here is not just what you do on the field; it's handling all the surface around it.
Mm-hmm.
How well do you think you deal with that part of it? The criticism that'll be justified, the criticism that won't be justified, just
Mm-hmm.
being in that fishbowl.
Yeah, I think it comes with the territory. Anytime you play at a big school like this, I think that's one of the biggest blessings and, a curse at the same time. And you have to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, you have a great game, the media's going to say great things about you. You have a bad game, they're going to say that, you're not the answer, whatever it is. So I think, you just have to take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, obviously it's hard to avoid if you go on social media, so I just try to stay off of it a little bit. And I think, you just have to, at the end of the day, remind yourself, like, don't get too high, don't get too low, just stay steady in the boat.
Kyle, two of the three starting receivers from last year, presumably going to start again this year, are out for the spring.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're trying to prove that you're the best quarterback on the roster, but in a way, the starting wide receivers aren't the guys that you're throwing to right now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of compartmentalize that in your brain?
Yeah, I think for me, we're really deep at receiver. I think that's one of the deepest positions we have on this team, and I think the young guys are stepping up quite nicely, which is good, honestly. I mean, we know what Mech and Julian can both bring to the table. I think it gives other guys a chance to step up and make some plays, and already on the first day they've shown that they can. But I've been throwing with all the guys all off season, so I think we really haven't missed a beat. And the first day it was really good. They went out and made some good plays.
Kyle, how much have you dreamt about teaming up with Marvin again now in 2023?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny when we first started playing with each other, my sophomore year of high school. I mean, it's something that we always talked about, and obviously it's crazy the way everything worked itself out with us both being here, and I'm definitely excited to be able to play with him. I mean, I didn't get a lot of reps with him last year just because he was going with the ones with CJ. But the chemistry is definitely still there. I throw with him a bunch. It's my best friend. It's funny. I tell him if I was athletic enough to play DB, I'd be able to lock him down because I know all of his moves, which he laughs at. But no, it's good. I mean, it's always fun to play with a guy like that, his caliber, and as well as your best friend. So
what's changed about his game just in the last couple of years that you've noticed now throwing to
Yeah.
him regularly again?
Yeah, it's funny looking back. I remember we watched, I think it was his sophomore year high school tape, and he was obviously a great receiver then, but just got bigger, stronger, faster, quicker. I think his football IQ is at the next level now. And it's funny, like talking to him, I think he sees the field like a quarterback, which is something that not a lot of guys that I've played with have had. And after a play, go back and talking to him. I mean, he knows what I'm seeing, and I think that helps with him getting open. And I think that has really allowed him to take his game to the next level. I mean, obviously on top of his work ethic.
How cool is it to have a guy with that kind of catch radius, though? I mean, the way.
Yeah, I mean, if
it's
you
not just him. It's like.
Yeah, you just put it in his area code, and he's gonna go get it. But I mean, that's something that he's been doing since high school.
Yeah.
So I think everybody else is surprised but me.
You have a start and a win under your belt, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of leg up does that give you? Do you think, just realistically, in this race?
Yeah. I've talked about it before, but I think just getting a start, it's obviously a lot different than practice. I mean, you can prepare for the looks you think you're going to get based on film. You can prepare for different defenses, but at the end of the day, when the ball's put down, and you're in there, it's you're going to have to deal with some stuff on the fly. So just getting that experience was good. Making some good plays, making some bad plays, and learning from it, I think really helped me, especially at that point so early in my career. I think it's very important experience to get.
Kyle, how much
When you
of you
deal
more,
with the-
two more questions?
When you deal with a QB competition, you guys are obviously great friends, but you're going for one job. How is that mentally? How do you guys interact off the field with the competition?
No, I mean, me and Devin are really close. We're really close, and I think we both know what it is. But I think that's the beauty of it. I think all off season we've been pushing each other, which is good. I mean, he's definitely gotten me better, and I've definitely gotten him better. So I think it's a very beneficial relationship on both sides. And obviously, we both know what we're going for, but at the end of the day, it's just a really good competition, and I think it's bringing the best out of me and the best out of him as well.
How much competition happens outside of practice? I mean, do you feel like this is almost a 24/7 thing? Maybe not while you're sleeping, but beyond practice, when you're in the weight room, when you're just hanging out with guys, do you feel like that's still being evaluated?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't think of it like that. I think, if we're in the weight room, we're out here, we're going to be competing with each other. We're competing with each other last year, even though there wasn't a job on the line. I mean, that's just always how it's going to be, especially at a place like this where it's highly competitive in every area. But like I said, I think, we're definitely bringing the best out of each other, which is good. And that's what you want at the end of the day. I mean, you don't want to be handed anything. You want to have to be able to work for it. And I think, we both understand that. And I think, it's honestly brought us closer.